Do you need a new job? Have you been laid off? Are you in a soul-crushing job? Can you see the layoffs coming? Are you bored out of your mind and not learning anything? Do you have no promotion path at your current company? If any of those are you, I want you to let me know by either reaching out to me in the DMs or dropping it in the comments if you're cool with that. But this is for you. So I've got some good news for you, and we could all use a little good news. Even in this market, your perfect for you job is out there. There is a job that will value your talent, skills, and experience, that will provide the experience that will get you to your next promotion, that will provide the paycheck and the work-life balance you need, and that will provide the company culture and values that you crave. Even in this market. The bad news is it stinks to be laid off. It stinks to need to look for a new job. And now you're job hunting in a scary market. And the market, job-wise, has been wonky for about 2.5 years now. Really wonky. So what does that mean? Here's what I hear from job seekers on LinkedIn. I'm applying to all the jobs without a strategy. I hear nothing back, just crickets. Or when I do hear back, it is a rejection email. If I do get an interview, I end up getting ghosted. So we've got crickets and we've got ghosts. It sounds like some kind of really crazy Halloween story. And it is June. So that's some bad news. Usually, this is how you end up. Spending a bunch of money on resume writers without knowing what you're looking for. I talked to someone a couple weeks ago who spent $400 on a resume. And it was really the last $400 she had that wasn't going to go to rent or food on the table. And it didn't do her any good. People spend a lot of time looking for jobs on social media or online without a target. They spend a lot of energy applying to jobs without a strategy. And then they get so demoralized that then they get in that place where they really can't take any action. Talked to somebody like that yesterday. All people learn from that horrible experience of the bunch of money, the bunch of time, the bunch of energy, is that they are not on the fastest path to their next job. They're just not. Now, you're like, okay, so this sounds a little too good to be true, but I think it's good news. There's a fastest path to your next job. And that fastest path means you're going to get clear about what you have to offer and even clearer about what you want, because you need to know both. You need to be clear on both. And that's how you get on the fastest path to your next job. The bad news is just because you do know what you want and what you have to offer doesn't mean you know how to talk about what you have to offer on your resume and LinkedIn profile, or that you know which experts to listen to, because, oh my God, are there so many experts? Which experts do you listen to about your resume and your LinkedIn profile? And do you know what the love language is for your ideal companies and how to use it on your resume and LinkedIn? And what does customize your resume mean anyway? So you end up, I listen to this expert, I do this thing, nothing changes, I'm still getting crickets. So then I listen to the next expert and I do this thing and nothing changes, I'm still getting crickets. And you end up with an expensive lesson that listening to all the experts and spending all the money just doesn't work. What if instead of trying to recreate the wheel, you had a list of companies who need what you have to offer, a target, and who are the right next step for your career? That's a target. You know how to build your brand with your resume and LinkedIn profile, and you know how to use your target company's love language to brand yourself as their ideal candidate without wasting time on all the wrong things. So, hi, I'm Wendy. I'm the founder and coach of Taking Charge. I help people make more money in better, happier jobs. Jobs that work for their whole lives. And even in wonky markets, I help people get bill-paying jobs that are not so crushing, that will move them forward in their careers to their dream job. And I do that every day. I'm lucky I get to do that every day. I say I'm lucky, but there are several decades of experience hiring people, being the leader of over 1,000 people in my career, 12,000 interviews. There's a lot of stuff behind that. Here at Taking Charge, we're on a mission to help job seekers design a career that works for their whole life. And I am passionate about this. This has been a passion of mine my entire professional life. Starting in my YMCA days when I ran youth and family services for the YMCA, and I was the person you trusted your children with after school and in the summers so you could focus on work at work. And now I help people design careers that work for their whole lives, that work for their health, that work for their marriage, that work for their children, that work for their church and community commitments, their music and their art. That's what I do. And I do that with one word: experience. So I've scaled an SF startup from employee 23 to employee 500 and $100 million exit. I've led millions of dollars in consulting engagements with dozens of Fortune 500 and dozens of VC-backed startup companies. I've led award-winning programs at the YMCA, and I've led the turnaround of a small AIDS clinic in San Francisco. I've designed the talent strategy, which is who do we need to get to the next level at 20 VC-backed Silicon Valley startups with a 64% exit rate. And like I dropped a little bit earlier, I've conducted 12,000 interviews. What we're going to talk about today is how to target companies who need what you have to offer and offer what you need. How to tune out all the experts and build a brand with your resume and LinkedIn profile. How to build an application and networking strategy that works and know when to pivot. And how to rock your interviews and negotiate the best offer for you. And at the end of this call, I'm going to tell you about an opportunity to learn from the 12,000 interviews lady how to get interviews and how to get offers in those interviews for only $27. So hang on, there's more coming. So where you are today, you don't have a clear target for what you have to offer, who wants it, and who will offer what you want. You don't know how to craft a resume and LinkedIn profile that clearly tells employers what you have to offer, makes it easy for them to absorb the information they need to absorb. You don't have a clear strategy for applications and networking, and all you hear are rejections. You lack confidence when you interview, and you don't know how to improve. So you look like that guy with his fingernail sandwich. What you're going to get today is the fastest path to your next job has 4 steps, not 2. Most people think there's only 2. They think branding and impressing, resume and LinkedIn, interviews. There's more to it than that. Let's see if you have gaps in your job search strategy or black holes. We want to take you from the woman with her face in her hands to the woman getting the job offer. That's where we want to go. So when it comes to this target thing, we're talking about know what you have to offer, know what you want from your next job, and know who wants what you have to offer. This is the most important first step in your job search. And most people, the second they lose a job, they update their resume. First of all, in my world, you're updating that quarterly, and you're updating your LinkedIn quarterly. But anyway, that's what people think they should do. But until you have clarity on what you're targeting for your next job, you don't know how you want to describe the results that you've gotten in your resume. So target is really important. Getting really clear on what your superpowers are, where there is a need in the market, what moves you in the direction of your longer term goals, and what kinds of humans do you want to work with. So we're going to do a little math here, just a teeny amount of math. So I want you to let me know in the comments, or if you'd prefer to keep it just between us, send me a DM. So when it comes to the next question I ask you, I want to know if you're a meh, which is a 1, all the way up to a heck yes, which is a 4. I know what I have to offer, my talents, skills, passions, interests, and experiences. I know what I want and need for my next job. I know what companies need what I have to offer and are likely to be hiring and not laying off now. So on that scale of 1 to 4, meh to heck yes, where are you? Drop it in the comments or let me know in my DMs. Next up, we have the branding. That's the thing that you all know that you need. You just need to do the target part first. Okay, so that's your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your cover letters, your customization plan. One of the things that my clients do when they work with me is we have a general template we use that we found is just super effective. This isn't about tricking ATS bots. This is actually about how humans learn. And I have a lot of background in education and education psychology, and that's what we're using here. So we need the human beings reading your resume who have about 10 seconds, maybe 30 to look at it, to make it super easy for them to absorb the results you've gotten that are most relevant to them, the things that they need you to do at their company. And then that's the resume. And then the LinkedIn goes way beyond that. But it also has that. So we want to do this very, very, very thoughtfully. So on that scale of 1 to 4, meh to heck yes, meh, not really, kind of yeah, heck yes. I've crafted a resume and LinkedIn experience section that demonstrates my experience and results on language most relevant to my target companies. And I'm not talking about those fluffy words, people, the nonsense words, collaboration. No, I'm not anti-collaboration. It's an important part of some kinds of roles. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about results, people. I've made the most of all the features of my LinkedIn profile to attract recruiters working on my ideal jobs. I know how to customize my resume and cover letter for each application and to do it efficiently and effectively so I can get enough applications done. Yeah, we're not rewriting the gosh darn thing every time, people. So on a scale of 1 to 4, meh to heck yes, how are you here? Now, you've got the resume, you've got the LinkedIn, you know what you're going after. What do you do now? So connecting is about executing your application strategy in sprints, executing your networking strategy. And networking strategy is not sending your resume to all of your friends. It is not doing a post on LinkedIn begging for jobs. I'm not saying doing that post is wrong. I'm saying that is not a networking strategy. It is not going to a networking event and walking up to every person in the room and telling them you need a job. Networking in my world is thoughtful, purposeful, and playing to human psychology, making it easy for people to help you, and giving people the opportunity to share their wisdom. If that sounds interesting, you and I need to talk. Okay, the rest of Connect is executing that application strategy and networking strategy and doing consistent audits and pivoting when you need to. Are you doing the work? Are you getting the results? In my coaching program, we do that every Thursday. So, on a scale of 1 to 4, meh to heck yes, I have an application strategy and I execute it every week. I know how to open doors if an application strategy doesn't work for my search. I have a method to track results and pivot when I need to. If you don't have a place where you're tracking every application, if you're not tracking your outreach, your networking outreach, how do you know whether it's working? How do you know what you're getting done and what your results are? I am getting interviews, not crickets. So I have an application strategy and execute it every week. I know how to open doors if an application strategy doesn't work for my search. I have a method to track results and pivot when I need to. I am getting interviews, not crickets. Scale of 1 to 4, meh to heck yes. Keep dropping them in the comments or in my DMs. Can't help you if we don't know what's going on in your job search. Now we come to the interviews. Impress. We want to rock our inner game. We want to rock our outer game. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got guitars. I live in Music City. We're going to rock our interviews. Now, the whole point to rocking your interviews, just in case you were confused, is to get offers. And then you want to rock your negotiation to get what matters most to you. So, having conducted 12,000 interviews and trained hundreds of hiring managers and recruiters on how to do interviews and how to build interview questions and interview processes and scoring rubrics and how to make these decisions, that's what feeds everything I'm talking about when it comes to impressing in your interviews. On a scale of 1 to 4, from meh to heck yes, I know how to prepare for the outer game of interviews. I know how to prepare for the inner game of interviews and why this matters. And oh, does it ever. I know how to manage the interview process to get offers, ideally more than one offer. Yeah. I know how to negotiate what is most important to me. On a scale of 1 to 4, meh to heck yes. Drop me those numbers. Okay. So how are your numbers? How do they look? I bet you they're not so good. Can you imagine having someone who has hired thousands of people in the private sector and nonprofit advising you, getting all the interview design secrets from someone who has conducted 12,000 interviews, so you know how to interview perform, negotiating your compensation details with all the real data so you don't leave money on the table, building your long-term career strategy with someone who has 30 plus years of management, and knowing that what matters most is that your career works for your whole life. You're the person on the left right now. We want you to be the person on the right. That's the whole point here. You can do this on your own. Take all of this information and you can do it all on your own. Or I can help you get results faster. I can help you get better results faster. In my coaching program, we start with the target, then the brand, then the connect, then the impress. So we figure out what's next for you, what moves you towards your longer term goals, where you will thrive, what makes you special. what you have to offer, who needs it, and who's in a position to hire right now and less likely to be laying off in the next couple of years. Then we build your brand to support those goals. The resume, the LinkedIn profile. We know how to handle cover letters when they're required. We know how to customize the resume in a way that's cost effective. More importantly, time effective, actually. Time is money. Time effective, effective and efficient. And then interviews. The inner game, the outer game, the negotiation game. Okay. I've been a tech executive. There's all that venture-backed tech startup consulting. Obviously, if you're in tech, working with me makes a ton of sense. But what if you're not? People making major career transitions between sectors or industries. Tech executives, early career techies, people making major transitions. All of those. If you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, then you might actually need somebody named Wendy to actually break the Peter Pan thing for you down so that you can actually figure out what you want to be when you grow up. Time is money. We want to get you on the fastest path because every month you're not working, you're missing out on an average of $10,000 a month. So we need to get you on a fastest path to that next job so you can sleep at night, so you can pay your bills, so you can go back to living your whole life. So I want to encourage you to do two things. One is if you are looking to get interviews and win those interviews and get offers, next Friday at the same time, I'm doing a workshop on just that. And if you want the registration link, and there will be a registration link, it is a paid workshop. It's only $27. So you're getting a lifetime of interviewing experience for $27. Drop me in interviews in the comments or in my DM so I can get you the registration link. And if you can't come live, that's okay. You get the replay. So you want to sign up for this, whether or not you can come at 11 a.m. Central next Friday, June 20th. And if you are tired of facing this job search alone and know that you need to speed things up and you need to get on the fastest path to your next job, let me know that you want to get on a call and we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about what that looks like and how to make that work for you. So if that's something you're interested in, drop a call in the comments, drop a call in my DMs, and we'll get you on my calendar and we'll get you on the fastest path to your next job. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day and do something good today. If you know somebody who's out of work, tag them in this so they can see it too.